Hello, horror fans, and welcome once again to the Horror Beast. Today I'll be talking about what I've done this past week. Now, this past week, I've pretty much just spent my time watching Roku. Watching movies, not new, movies that I probably own on VHS or DVD, but I've been watching them on Pluto TV. Now, Pluto TV, and I think I've said this before, has this one channel. It's called Horror 24/7. It is pretty much dedicated to anything horror. And there I've been watching movies like The Possession, Amityville 2, which is one of my favorite of the Amityville lineup with the whole series. Just in case you haven't seen it, The Possession, Amityville 2 is a prequel. It's the events that happened before the first Amityville. Then I've watched Ghoulies, which I own on VHS, so as well as The Possession, Amityville 2. I saw Tucker and Dale vs. Evil, which is a movie I own burned, but I hadn't seen in a while. I've seen the Hellraiser 1 and 2. Saw Waxworks 2, Lost in Time, which, honestly, that was my first watch, and I really enjoyed it. I thought it was a really good, it was a fun movie, and it was fun watching the guy from Gremlins, which I really don't know his name, but then again, I'm weird like that. I'll probably know somebody, and I won't know his name, but I'll probably tell you where he came out, and what movie he came out, or whatever. Then I saw The Devil, which I thought it was a really cool movie, a really cool revenge movie. Saw Creature, but now I didn't see that one on Pluto. I saw this in this other app on Roku called Read TV, but then I took it off because I found out that's the only movie they're showing. Then from there, after watching a couple of movies, not all one by one, not like one whole day. I divided them into a couple of days. Well, besides after that, I had to go and do what I had to do. I've watched Ghost Adventures on Hulu, which is one of my favorite shows. And then I went back to watch some of the Dark Shadows, starting from the very first season. So I've been trying to binge that, and at the same time, I've been watching some of the old Twilight Zone with Rod Serling, the very old ones, back to the first season. And since there's been a couple of them that I had already seen on Sci-Fi that I didn't know in what season they were, they never really show the whole season in its entirety. But anyways, I've seen that on Hulu. Now, going back to Pluto, they have this other channel, it's called Documentaries. Now there I saw a documentary hosted by Lance Henriksen, which I think it's Red, White, and Blue horror. I keep forgetting the title. I know the Red, White, and Blue is in there, and it's hosted by Lance Henriksen. I had already seen that on Netflix. Then I saw it again on Hulu. Now, that's nothing new. The one that was new to me was the one that I saw called VHS Lives, a Sherlockmentary, which is, just in case you haven't seen it, or maybe you already have, this is new to me. And I figured out, well, not that I figured out, but I found out that there's a part 2, and you can find that on Amazon Prime. It's pretty much a shockumentary, as they call it, a Sherlockumentary, as they call it, about VHS collectors. They document all these VHS collectors from, I think the documentary was made in 2016, so it's not that old. It's 3 years maybe, depending on the month. And I found that one very interesting. You had the beginning, you had Lloyd Kaufman. You had Phil Anselmo from Pantera. Hopefully, I'm saying his last name right. The lead singer of Pantera. He was on it, and these other filmmakers who were talking about how VHS is like this lost art and everything, which I do believe, and I like those shot on VHS type of movies from back in the day. Sometimes it was just nostalgic to me to watch that. It's a pretty good documentary or schlockumentary, or whatever you want to call it, on VHS collectors. Now, I haven't seen part 2. Like I said, you can find both of them on Amazon Prime. And I've listened to a couple of horror podcasts. I love listening to horror podcasts because they how they interview horror icons, some unknown, some known, and I just love sitting down and listening to them. When I go to my job, if you really want to call it a job, and I put on my headphones, so I just put it on and I'm just listening to it, to any of the podcasts. And yeah, I mean, they're lengthy. Some are like an hour long, some are 2 hours long, but it's entertaining. I'm weird like that. I find that you have to be a certain kind of a horror fan to listen to a horror podcast just as much as watching a horror movie. That's that long. Just listening to the hosts and the interviewees, and asking some questions and knowing stuff you probably didn't know of some of your favorite horror movies. It's fun. I find it very fun. But then again, I'm weird like that. Then I went to Shudder, and there I've been wanting to see The Last Drive-In with Joe Bob Briggs. There I saw Chud and Castle Freak. Both movies that I've seen before, nothing new. I actually own Chud on VHS, but it just brings you back to the old Joe Bob Briggs when he used to do it. So you have that, and pretty much has been my whole week. I think the only day I didn't watch anything or heard anything based on horror was yesterday. Yesterday was a full day of appointments. I had to take my aunt to a dentist appointment, and then that took a whole day. And then I had to go right after that appointment. I had to go straight to what I do as a sort of job. So it wasn't much of a busy day, but I did not watch anything. I think the last thing I did watch, or at least try to watch, was I was going to start watching the TV series Monsters. But then I said no, because I really want to watch this. It's been a while since I've seen it, and I really want to watch it. But I did put on the X-Files. And from there I just fell asleep. So maybe I did do something. Who knows? But I think I've rambled on enough of what I've done this past week. Hopefully you like what you see. If you do, give it a thumbs up. If you haven't subscribed, just to hear more of my rants and my yapping about what I like about horror or what I don't like. Now, this past week was no haul, so I got maybe 3 things, which was Bela Lugosi's Human Monster, and then I got 2 books. One of them, which is John Dies in the End, based on the movie by Don Coscarelli. And then there was A Visitation, also based on a movie. I'm gonna destroy the author's name. I'm not even gonna try. But his movies have come out pretty much independent. Well, It's not his movies. His novels have been turned into like movies that go straight to video or straight to DVD, as any way you want to put it. The first one I've seen is The Visitation, which is the book that I got, which has the kid from Terminator 2. What is his name? I forget. Anyways, he's like this new messiah, and he's trying to... The author's more of Christian fiction. I always called it a Christian horror, but it's more like Christian. He calls it Christian fiction, which dwells into the supernatural and stuff like that. It's not that bad. Now I have another one of it. I have another movie that's also based on one of his books, which is The Hangman's Curse. I haven't seen it. I've been wanting to see it. Haven't gotten around to it. I'm easily amused. I find something I want to see, and then I'm like, you know what, I'm gonna see this instead. But I gotta stop that, and I gotta put more videos up here. And for now, that's all I gotta say about that. Once again, if you like what you see and you want to hear more rants about me talking about what I like and what I don't like, or what I've seen or haven't seen, give me a like, subscribe if you haven't, and until next time, I will try to keep up with this. Thanks for watching.